Hi everyone,
Hi.
welcome to Spill the Tea. And we are real couples talking about real marriages, and we're so happy to have you. I'm Kavan Allen, and this is my beautiful, amazing, wonderful, ardocious wife, Keisha Allen. And we are happy to have you, and we are on a mission to make marriage great again.
Yes,
So thank you for joining us. And today we have our very special guest cases. We have Errington and Tanya Case. They are especially good friends. Hail up everybody, my friend them. And and we kind of said it on Instagram earlier that they were our original guests. In fact, they help us to kind of figure out to get this thing off the ground. And how long are you guys married?
22.
22 years you guys have been married? Look like we okay. You hear me, Aunt? You hear me, guys? How long have you been married?
You're back. You went
Yeah, you guys went
20 years going on 21.
Awesome.
21 this year.
21. Wow. So 21 years of marriage. They are amazing people and they love marriage. And Auntie Tanya wrote a book about being wife material, and we spoke about that on our first program last year.
Yes.
And now she has a workbook, and then now she also have a new book called Expectations.
Expectations
Journal. And so we want to talk about that. That's our theme for tonight, and we're going to talk about expectation. So Spility is brought to you by House of Clay, Jamaica luxury fashion house, home to Jamaicans' fairy godmother. Expert leaders of high-end wedding dresses and evening wear. So all of these dresses are specially designed and crafted, of course, here in Jamaica. And Keisha can say all these nice words better than me. I won't even attempt. Oh, praise the Lord.
In our Jamaican affiliate. So you can check out our website. It's www.houseofclayjamaica.com and follow us on Instagram and all socials at House of Clay JA. Yes.
So listen, if you know somebody getting married, they deserve to be the most beautiful woman in the room. So let us help you walk out your destiny. So right before we get into the discussion, we're so happy to be here to have this discussion. So right before we get into it, though, we have to know, what are you drinking? And there are very few people. I think the cases are about one of two people, maybe three, that have influenced us big time to be into tea and drink teas and all of that. So I'm excited to ask the cases tonight, what are you guys drinking?
Well, this is really bubble popping because I know you know us for drinking tea, right? But
Yes.
we're drinking coffee. Tonight, it's a coffee night because it's been such a long and tedious day. So I'm having a cup of coffee. Ayrton is not the warm beverage. Sometimes he does join me for tea, but he's more of a cool drink person. So one is hot and one is cold.
Oh, nice. The iced coffee and warm coffee.
He does have hot stuff too, but not so much.
Well, we're kind of in a similar issue. I'm having a hot chocolate with marshmallows. Keisha is having
water.
You know, I always have to big up that did our cup.
Spill the tea, nice.
Yes.
Very
Credentials by Tal. Follow them on Instagram. So,
Awesome.
we want to get into it. Expectations, guys. As you know, you guys married for 21 years. You guys have counseled people. You guys are happily married. You guys have a book about it. Let us kick off the discussion. How important is expectations in marriage for couples? How is it something that is a big deal? If it is, why not? Why is it?
Okay. You want to start first, E?
Let's start. It really is a big deal. Can you imagine somebody driving a car without any form of preparation to drive a car? They don't know what to expect. They don't know what to find in the car. They don't know what is a gear, what is a clutch, what is a steering. And it is really a practical way of preparing yourself. Knowing what to expect when you get in and not to be surprised. We've counseled persons who have been through the expectation process, and we've counseled persons who have not been through it. And we can clearly see the difference between those who were prepared as opposed to those who went on the road without learning to drive. I mean, it's dangerous.
And we all, no matter who you are, where you're coming from, you have expectations. Whether you know it or not, oftentimes you do not know it. You don't know what you actually expect until you see what you did not expect.
Exactly.
Well, so why I love this topic, because it's one of my favorite things to discuss. This journal, as well as this one, we've had for 22 years, right? 22 years. We're not telling you about something that we didn't do. So if you look, you will see what we wrote in June 21, 1999.
Wow.
So it's so amazing, because I look through and I read what I wrote then. And I'm like, listen, I was a solid girl, I had sense. I knew what I wanted. I had a strong relationship with God. And so here it is that this thing really helped us with courtship. And we would go on our little excursions all over Jamaica. And one thing is for sure, we have our expectations book. And just traveling up and down, dating with it. And we have a whale of a time. So what would happen is that we would say, this is the topic today. And we're like, okay, you write, I write, and then we exchange journals. And sometimes it's like, what? What do you come up with that? Who gave you that idea? What do you think that, So we chose topics, and it just bring conversation, meaningful conversation. As Ayrton said, it's a practical guide. It's a practical way of helping yourself prepare for marriage. Because no matter what, you have two different people from two different cultures, if it's a family culture, and you are going to be thrown together in one house to live forever. I smell trouble, right? We can avoid much of this if we begin to unpack our expectations with each other. So I do believe in it.
Funnily, this week Keisha found, this is a questionnaire that we had to do when we did premarital counseling with Auntie Pam, where you had to, a lot of it were expectations for some other stuff. But it was interesting to see whether you're on the same page or you're not on the same page. It was really good to have done that before, while you're in the courting stage, while you're, planning to get married. It's not even like, some of these things aren't like very important, but it's good that everybody knows. Because when you live with somebody, when you're committed to somebody, it is a different ball game when So to me, when I hear that, let me do it for Keisha. Maybe if she heard you squeeze the toothpaste from anywhere, that's not an issue. But when you live together, it's happening every day, then it becomes an issue. And I think, maybe you don't get that detail in it in your expectations, but you talk about just you expect a clean house. You expect
Right.
How do you do the chores? Like I expect it to be shared. I expect not to cook ever. I expect, these. You may not, that may not be the working out of it, but it's good to kind of know where you are.
Right,
and then say, all right, that's not going to work.
Right. You know what you're getting yourself into and make an informed decision.
That is it.
And there are a lot of things which don't come natural for us men. And
Yep.
journal does you can intentionally do the things that don't come natural so that you can meet that person's expectation.
Right.
So it's not just to prepare you, but it's also a guide which keeps you focused. A lot of times over time people get slacked off, and if you consistently go back to it, it keeps you focused, it keeps you on target, and you can intentionally do the things that don't come natural because it was documented and you know that this is what you need to do to fill the other person's love tank. So it's more than just even expectation, it's literally a reference point. Years after, when things are going off the railroad track, you can look back and say, okay, this is where the track is. I need to make some changes to get back on track.
Yeah.
And so it's really very practical.
It's about just really getting to know each other. And that's why I say, if you're going on a date, you take your expectation. This is the actual book. You take your journal with you and you begin to log your journey. And you begin to say, okay, so, all right, how do you feel about this? What are my expectations? Generally, it starts out general and says, what's my expectation of my spouse? And the things that will come out will just amaze the other person. And it could be that you saw marriage modeled a certain way and you say, definitely, I want my spouse to know. They have to know this is what I want and this is what, things like communication. Mm-hmm. So if you have a problem, how would you like for me to communicate to you? Whatever the problem is, how can I handle confrontation in a way that would put you at ease and we can deal with the issue? And that's it's filled with prompts that help you to say, okay, so how are we going to manage money? You have I have an account. Are we going to pool? Are we going to start the conversation? And so it's also in the premarital counseling stage where you can say, okay, are we going in the same direction? Are we on the same page? Are we going, is it that the challenge is too great, But half of it, I remember asking this one young lady who was getting married, and I said to her, so how are you guys dealing with conflict? She said, conflict? What do you mean? I said, is there nothing that he does that you don't like? She said, of course. I said, but what does he say when you tell him about it? I don't tell him about it. I said, really? She said, yes, I don't want him to be upset.
That's so I'm thinking
that, don't. Oh my God, that's the recipe for disaster.
That was the volcano. That was the super hill volcano that was waiting to happen. But it's interesting that persons kind of in the dating stage, sometimes you don't want to rock the boat, but there are ways to do it that it doesn't have to be a catastrophe. And that's what we want to guide.
And for us men, a lot of men don't easily talk about a lot of things. We are the ones who, you shake him head, you see, same thing, not saying anything. But a lot of us men, we will process things, we'll go into our man cave, we will be dealing with issues and we will not express it as expressly as our wives would. And what this does, it creates an opportunity. You know, I mean, sometimes it creates an opportunity for you to start letting out some of your thought processes concerning things, which maybe you even feel that way, you just never expressed it, you never said it. So it really creates a good opportunity for you to let your potential spouse know exactly how you feel about something, and so that they are not surprised by it. And another thing too, it will also help you to finally decide, is this the person I'm going to marry? I mean, because the person might look and say, I can't meet that expectation. That is too much for me, you know, and at that point, so it guides you in making that decision. It helps you to clarify it, to align your thoughts clearly so that you can make a great decision.
Yeah. I remember one of our dates that we went to Hellshire. You know, we packed our things up and we went to Hellshire and we were going to have one of those expectation sessions, and we bought our fish and eat and park the van where we could get a nice view and, you know, wash our hands and settle down, and took out our expectations book and wrote whatever the topic. I don't remember what the topic was, but we chose that topic and and it was such a beautiful thing. And that's what we want to help people to catch. Don't waste your dating talking about, you know, I like you, and the reason why I like you is because you always wear blue, and I like blue. Do you like blue too? And, you know, just having these conversations that go nowhere. Have you ever been around someone and the whole time, people that you could know them for years and you don't know anything about them?
Exactly.
And that's one of the things. You can be around people and they never go deep. You won't know what's in there, because we're just talking about what is on the surface, and, you know, and happy, joy. And it is.
Yeah.
But there comes a time to really talk, though, to really talk about heart issues. And because we know that we're supposed to be protecting each other's heart, it's good to know. This is a tool for you to know the other person. I mean, every marriage, listen to me, I believe in marriage. I believe in good marriage. And I know that it can be beautiful, but it's not like popcorn. Marriage is not like popcorn. Let's say that's a book. Marriage is not. You won't just put it in the microwave and a few minutes it just happens, or drop it in the pot and it just happens. No, it takes work. You know, I know you guys wouldn't know that it takes work, don't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure why you'd say that. No, you know, well, Keisha wanted to say a story. Let me just shout out everyone who's been listening so far. We so appreciate you. Althea Belgrand, who has been such a big Stability supporter, said good night. Love you, Althea. Thank you for tuning in. And Shelley and Cargill was agreeing with you at one point. Said so true, Tanya. Guys, please speak. Share questions, comments. Yes. We want to hear from you. Don't be afraid to ask any question or to add a comment. Drop it right in the chat. So, Keisha, you go. And then
I mean, I was just think the whole issue of being able to communicate or just be yourself and share how you feel with the person you are going to marry or with the person you're married to. Sometimes we take that thing for granted, but I realize it's something that a lot of people are afraid to do. And for me, when we were courting, my natural thing to do when there was conflict was to just hide and go into a shell and run away from it. And, you know, it was easy to talk to him about everything else. And we were really good friends. But I had this thing where I shied away from conflict. And it was something that we had to deal with in counseling. And once I got the hang of that, man, I Hey, I mean, it's good being able to just share. Huh? Say that
You were
again?
spilling the tea after that. Once you
No,
got the hang of it, you
I
were spilling.
remember like it took one-on-one session with Auntie Pam, and then by the time we came back to the follow-up, the next session, she was asking, how is it going? And Kavan was saying,
Yes.
I don't know what you said to her, what you did, but I can't get her to shut up now.
Wow.
So after that, I mean, it's so freeing, and it really helps, because one of the things I remember, a big thing that we got out from early before we got married. I told him, shouting, if you bring the whole shouting thing in the marriage, I am going to shut down. It doesn't work. Do not shout. It makes me feel belittled and disrespected, and I'm just going to shut down. I'm not trying to do it, but that's what's going to happen. So don't do it. So he knew from the beginning that, hey, so if we're having a conversation and he's getting passionate, and I'm like, whoa, we're shouting, don't shout.
All preachers get passionate when they're passionately speaking.
But you were shouting, you were preaching.
I was preaching. Thank you. But you know why that was important for me to hear? Because I come from a house that we had the liberty to everybody just go at it. You know, you try to be respectful, but you can really just like, no, I never. So you felt like that was just okay. If I'm passionate about it, it's okay. That's how we went in the Aldins. Everybody loved to hold their opinion firm. And so it was good. I was so happy when she said it to me. Because I didn't even realize that what I was used to was, let me not use such a strong word as toxic, but it wasn't the best way to communicate.
Yeah, I wouldn't hear anything he said after that.
I didn't think it was a poor means of communication. I just thought this is just what you do. When you push up about something, you just take your turn and you speak from your heart, and you give the other person their chance, but you go back and forth until you realize whatever, and we're done, and we're happy again, and we just move on. That is just especially with me, I grew up with 3 siblings. Everybody, I think my brother was probably the quietest, but as he grew, everybody was very passionate, you know. So in that setting, I was happy that she said it, because I never thought it would be such a negative thing. So saying it is huge. And if you said something, guys, that I think is so underrated, I think we should take it as a soundbite and just put it on Insta, because you said don't waste your date. Don't waste. Talk about expectation. I mean, I'm butchering the word. Expectations. Talk about what you expect. What are your dreams? It don't have to be negative. I don't want it to show. It can be like, when I get married, I can't wait to, own my own house in 1 week. And I don't know, whatever. It can be a dream, the fairy tale. Let us know like,
so you don't want 10 children, another person like, oh, what? Like,
I want to go to the beach every week. I want to do this at least get it out, write it down. I love that you guys wrote it down. I believe this is helpful, because a lot of people go into marriage depending on, which is kind of good, but you depend on the premarital counselor, if you even had one, to bring out everything. And everything will always come out.
Doesn't.
So it's up to you to make use of it. Yes, Auntie.
Come on, the word of God says, write the vision, make it plain, so that those who hear it can run with it.
Read it.
And those who read it can run with it. And it's a very good principle, because when you write it down, it actually gives a person a goal and objective, something to move towards.
As well as you. I think writing clears it up for you. I mean, one of the first things I wrote down of my expectation, let me tell you what I have in here. Because I was a bright girl. I don't care what anybody said. I was smart. Right? My ideals may be considered old-fashioned, yet I look forward to a husband who is a protector of his faith in God and his family. He will prize and protect our relationship in that he recognizes it as the most important earthly relationship. I expect he would protect my name by avoiding situations which would tarnish my reputation. This young lady is thinking, but I'm writing protector, priest, provider, you name it. I had it written down. And what kind of, how we would approach family. And these things, I came from a big family, and family was huge. Just the ideals of family and protecting family and all of that, big deal. But that sounds so amazing. But then the next thing beside it is kitchen duties.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, I need some help in the kitchen, I said. I need some help. I said, you was gonna scrap your plate the right way.
My hot beverage is finished. I only have to sip water now. And that
But it's as real as that. And that's what we want you to discuss this stuff and don't end up on a collision course in marriage, because where did this woman come from with these ideas? And where did this man come from thinking that I'm his mama? Right? So we need to talk about it and write it out. I love that we carry this with us every anniversary.
wow.
Anniversary. We carry it with us. We go back to it. Sometimes we laugh, and sometimes we realize our expectations changed.
Exactly.
Like,
we were going to
We're going to go there. We're going to go
Okay,
there.
go there.
That is big.
That's a big thing.
And I think it's important for us to grow together
yes.
and to realize the growth that's taking place and to explain to each other what's happening. I think our expectation may change, but the other partner doesn't understand why. So
Right.
Sometimes they don't even know. We expect them to know that our expectations change. They must mind read somehow or something.
So
Yes.
I think it's a journey, and our expectations have changed many times.
Man,
But it I mean, once children come in the picture, listen, when I just got married, my bread butter every side and middle. I mean, Keisha cook. I remember my shift recently changed at the bank. I worked, back behind office at the bank at the time. And so I think I had like a 2:00 shift that one when I just got married before it switched to 7. And I got a cooked breakfast. I got a cooked lunch before I left the house over. And I came home to a cooked dinner. We're living life, right?
Come on now.
Then I mean, we launched out the business, House of Clay, and things kind of changed a little bit as we got a few clients, but still, for the most part,
I had no expectation of him to help out.
Iron, she washed before a washing machine, washed with her hands. Then Keisha got pregnant.
Yep.
Then Keisha got ill. Then Kavan had to cook, and Kavan doesn't cook. So Kavan had to
learn how to cook.
Because Keisha couldn't do it. And she expected me, I'm telling you, and
when the baby came into the picture, my expectation had changed. It was like, well, you have to help out with something. And so it's interesting, and if we were just stuck in that hole, but this was what it was, and you used to cook for me and this and that, it would have messed up everything, and so we had to adjust.
That's it. That's it.
Financially too, I was working, the business was a plus, but the main finance was what I was doing.
Right.
But then things changed in me. I wanted to do full-time ministry, and we have a full plan. I was going to do full-time. It's like when I resigned, and you're like, okay, I am home. I know it meant that the financial burden is now on the business. So if Keisha don't so, we don't eat. So all of that changed. But I think that communication, and that is why I'm endorsed. And I love the fact that you put it down. We can look where we're coming from. We can look at where we are now. We can discuss why things change, what's happening in our minds, in our hearts. Because sometimes we take some things for granted. We can say, oh, Keisha only want me to help in the kitchen now because she pregnant. But as soon as the baby comes, things going to go back to normal. That's what it is. You know, I realize a lot of couples don't talk. We talk, but we don't share our hearts and why things are happening, what's happening. You know, we really don't. And I think this book, as I say, is a really good communication starter. I put my I just say, I expect you to be home on time. What that mean?
Because I expect now.
What that mean? But why, you know, I'm stressed out. This is happening. The girls ask for you every minute. This is, you know, with the job situation, I'm not feeling 100%. I don't know, whatever. But it has, and it can't be under the stress of the moment where I feel like I'm being cussed out. You understand? But when you create these moments deliberately, it's amazing. I want to read a comment and then I want you to jump in. Grace Isaac says, oh yes, I know the feeling. Okay, when that happens, it makes me feel like my father speaking, shouting at me, and not my love. I guess you're talking about the shouting thing. But these are things that you really have to say. And I was happy to hear it from the get-go.
Yeah.
And
he heard it from before we got married. So it was good that he did take any of us by surprise.
And you know,
go ahead.
Coming from two different family backgrounds, sometimes it's just a difference in culture. It means so it even necessarily be that one is right and one is wrong. It could be based on our different cultural upbringing, that we have different family traditions. And now you're putting two traditions together, so you have to find some way where they can meet up. You putting it in the expectation book is raising the conversation. Chances are you won't end up at one side or the other side, but there'll be some compromise where there's an understanding and there's an agreed position somewhere in the middle. So what it really does, it opens up the conversation for you to deal with those issues before it becomes an issue.
A powwow. Something that I remember, we exchanged journals recently, and I was reading through Ayrton's expectations. And would you believe, I was just like, you expected that? It was about how, you know, communication. I'm like, that's so unlike you. Because it's unlike him now.
No.
What I've understood is that as you heal, as you grow, something that you really needed then, you don't need again, because you're already affirmed, you're already, you know you are loved, you feel that security. It is consistent over the years. Now I want something else. Ayrton and I would do this thing, like even we're about to take a shower. How's your love tank? Temperature check time. And we would just ask each other, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Where's your love? Oh, okay, so what do you need more of? Right? And that's what we do. Just randomly check how you stay. I miss you. Even though we work in the same place, we work at home together. I miss you, because that means we've had conversation, but we haven't had heart to heart, right? So anytime, period of time where there's, you know, a gap, I need to reconnect with you at a certain level. And so we check and see, okay, where are you? Where are you? And that's something we started before we got married. And 20-something years later, we're still doing it. And it just keeps your communication flowing, keep that communication, the wheels oiled, you know, so that your marriage, everything that you're carrying on your marriage, the weight of it, it needs to be supported, you know. And so, something that here's a pretty page, Keisha, I hope you can see it. I know, is it pink? You can see it? Yeah. This page says 3 things that make me feel loved. And just being able to identify, and again, these things can change. We have a lot of pages in the book because you're going to do a lot of writing. You'll do some now. And as you grow, I'm hoping that this will be a book that you can give your children. And so this is the path we took. And this is what worked. Maybe this part didn't work, but you can track and see where you're coming from and leave a legacy.
Yeah.
For your or for young couples that are coming up, and that's my heart. My heart is for strong marriages, and strong marriages take work. And it's not that you need
the good kind of work, but work nonetheless.
Work nonetheless. It's good work. It's good work. There's joy in it. There's a lot of joy in it, and there's a lot of fun in it. And there are a lot of things that make you don't want to collide in marriage, and you hear all these terrible things about marriage, and it really takes just pliable people to become one. Pliable people are more easy to become one force. Yeah.
Listen, we have two amazing questions that I was going to go into both of them. From our good friend Zandra Stennett, she says, at what stage of the dating process should the expectation journal be introduced?
Hey.
Smart. I would say when you have a committed relationship that's heading to marriage, when the two of you say, listen, I am committing to you and I want this thing to go. We're proceeding in this relationship toward marriage. Our end goal is marriage. So let us begin courting. Let us begin the process of unfolding our hearts and revealing soul. You don't want to do this with a little boyfriend.
So how do you prevent the person from wasting your time and having this long drawn out dating thing? Because I find that some of these expectation conversations will weed out the bad seed. Because the truth is, so a person might hear that this is your expectation and go, well, me not do that. And then at that point, you can make up your mind and say, well, it's done.
Here's no, Keisha, you are jumping back into the Wife Material Workbook where we have a dating standard.
Okay.
In the dating standard, you don't give everything one go.
Right.
Setting who you are, it'll be established. Listen, I used to tell Arrington, I want him to run now. I'm going to show you who I am so you can gingerbread man it out of here. You get to run it as fast as you can because I don't want someone who cannot work with me or someone who cannot see me for who I am and accept and respect that, nor should they be put in that position.
Right.
But that question was a good question, because there's a certain level of vulnerability when you start opening up your heart, as this would pull on you to do. And you want to know that you are in a safe environment when you are opening up and exposing. So it's not for the early high dating, it's really when you are now going beyond just trying to impress somebody and really getting to know, is this person I want to marry? And because you don't want to cast all of your pearls,
That's why go ahead and say it.
Unnecessarily. Right. So there's a level of vulnerability that comes with it. So it's when you have made the decision that I'm going to pursue you in a committed relationship.
Yeah, and I think, and I think there's such a difference when I am, just use the terms that everybody can understand. When I'm dating versus when I'm courting, or when I see the person, I like the person, we are committed to seeing where it can go, then we have a commitment, so we're going to get married. I think you have two different expectations. I think one, so now I expect you to, I'm a Christian, I don't have sex before marriage, or I expect X, Y, Z. versus we're going to get married now. And I'm telling you, my desire is this life that we're going to build together. This is what I expect to happen.
Yeah.
So I think you always have these expectations sharing. You may not bring the journal in, but you're still setting like, if you're going to be in my space, if you're going to be my friend, I tell people, the greatest thing I've learned from Spill the Tea since we started a year ago, and we have been doing married couples almost every week for over a year.
Wow.
The best marriages, they are friends first. Almost everybody. She was my best friend. He was I was amazed by that, right?
Listen.
And so, trust me, so in the friendship stage, you will tell people, these understand who I am, but then it's going to take a big turn when you're going to understand what I want from you as a married person. So you share your heart as friends, but then when you get married, you start to share what you see the future becoming, what you expect. My mother always cooked Sunday dinner, I was talking to right? And vegetable. I was talking to a couple this week, and the wife was saying how she went to her husband's house with his mom before they got married, and she did Sunday dinner, and she did rice and peas and two meat and vegetable and baked potato.
Oh, candied
potato. Yes. And then she baked something for them after that. She said, it's almost like she said, listen, you have a mind, my son.
Come on.
You need to know. Right? And so these are some of the turns that you kind of take after. Like, listen, I want 2 meats. Keisha knew that. I mean, it wasn't that do or die, but you kind of know, like, I had this one person from my mom's, when I was at my mom's church, right? You had this one church member, because we lived in Portmore, church is in Kingston. And when we go to her house for dinner, you get like 2 meats. Like, mommy never always do 2 meats, but sister, you let, oh my God. And I said to Keisha, listen, 2 meat excite me in a way I can't eat. Listen, even if it's fried chicken and baked chicken, we just want 2 different meat in the plate. But we get all of that out. The point of this rambling is just, it will take a change. One is as friends, as you're in my space, as we learn each other. But it's going to take a hard left turn or right turn when it's like, we are getting married. These are my dreams. These are my aspirations. This is what I see. And that's when the book will come right in. Yeah, Uncle, go ahead.
I'm just looking at what happens in the corporate world. If you take 2 separate companies and there's going to be a merger, everybody lines up, they start going through their strategic vision, they start going through their plans, they start doing
everything up on the table.
What works, what doesn't work, what are the threats, what are the strengths, they do all of this. And it's carefully documented before a merger takes place. And it's interesting that for marriages, we expect to come together, to merge 2 different
seamlessly,
2 different everything, without clearly writing out and looking at and merging those 2 documents to make sure that we have a common vision and a common outlook on life. And what this book does, it does what happens in the corporate world, where there's actually the documentation of what the different policies, what the different strategic plans are, and merge those plans together so that you have one vision and you don't have division.
Wow.
So
that is huge. One vision and not division. That is huge. And sometimes we take things for granted. And I think that's one of the biggest killers of marriages. Is we take things for granted. Like, so we are Christian getting married. And I'm telling you, I've seen this tripped up multiple Christian marriages. It may sound strange. We have to say that both of us believe we must have devotion, we must spend time in prayer. Fine. Both of us believe that. But what I didn't know is that one person wants to have devotion 4 a.m. every morning. I never know that was an expectation. So now you're waking me up at 4 to go pray. No. I mean, people, I know somebody else who said, listen, both of them love to pray. Oh my God, they're excited. They're looking forward to being married and praying together. But one person don't talk to anybody before they talk to God. So one person literally don't say good morning before they talk to, after they talk to God, they say good morning to you. And that was very frightening for the other person. But these are things, I'm telling you that.
That's
Don't
why I think at 4 o'clock.
Don't take anything for granted. So even when you are on the same page, even when you agree,
Yes.
just discuss it. I want to throw another question out there. This one is from Stephanie Troncoso, my friend out there in Montego Bay, right? Are there any expectations that are more critical to discuss or should be at the top of the dating list?
Okay. I think recently when I was writing What Makes Marriage Work, that's my other book that's coming up. I had to go and check on some things. And what are the reasons why people are divorced? Reasons. And it's interesting, those things, I had to make sure that we tackle those things. In your expectations, money becomes a big thing. Do you know that even children made it to the top?
Wow.
I was like, children? Yeah. Because when children, you have this, oh, we're so happy, we're doing marriage, and we're doing all of well, and then comes one and we're so happy, we're doing marriage. You have all the attention on this cuddly wuddly one, and then the time, lessons, and the focus on marriage is going away. And so it's important to have a plan. There are different things that I know how you handle money is in here, how you handle children. There are prompts in here for you to tackle the issues, and you will decide how. This is not a book that tells you the how, it just tells you deal with it. Come to the conclusion. Money, sex, children. So this concept that I don't feel like I love you anymore. We've grown apart. Right? You think that marriage was ever about your feelings. That's what it was. You thought it had anything to do with, that wonderful feeling that you feel when you felt the feel that you never felt before. We like it. We like it. We like the whoop. Can't wait to see excitement, and it's great. I wish you could put in a can. I wish you could get up every morning and open the can and just say, yes, let's feel that feel. But let's face it, it's not an everyday feeling. This feeling that you feel is a feeling called commitment.
Great.
I'm committed to this man. I'm committed to his good. I'm committed to his success. I'm committed to protecting him. I'm committed to safeguarding his heart. I'm committed to doing good, whether I feel like it or I don't. I don't consult my feelings.
I just want to add something though. You follow what's in your expectation manual and you meet your spouse's expectation. What you're basically doing, you're creating that environment where a lot of that spark is generated in your relationship.
It's true.
And what you're doing is intentionally setting the environment for all of those, to describe what you just said.
The feel like you feel. Right.
The feel that you feel
when you feel it.
Yeah, man. You feel, yeah.
When you're out of boil up.
Uncle, I think men will love this because we are very matter of fact. Tell me what you want. And women do talk a lot, but they hardly say what they want.
In circles.
They hardly say what they want.
Never what we say.
I can see this being such a helpful tool for women to just say what they expect. And I'm telling you, most men will be like, I'll do it just so that you're good. Just let me know what that good is, and I'll get it done. So I mean, I'm over the moon. Go ahead, Auntie T.
I want to say, a lot of times, for the women, a lot of times we want stuff done, right? So this is really safe. But we want stuff done. We want you to make us feel nice, but we don't want to have to tell you to do it. Yeah. We want you to just know that we want you to just, I sense it in the air that you know, this, and then we just go, oh, did you do that for me? You know, and we're excited. But this is like, okay, let's make a plan. It's a foolproof. So this is how I like to be romanced. This is how I like to be, you know, just feel special. On my birthday, I expect this. On special occasions, I expect that. When you talk about that before the moment occurs, where you're like, oh, I didn't know that you want that. Like Arrington's family, they were big on celebrations. And my family is like, oh, you got a new tooth. Yeah, let's celebrate. My family is just excited for everything. Right? And for him, Christmas, what do you mean Christmas celebration? You know, it's not as big a deal. But we had to know what each other expected and started working on it. And it's wonderful to see, because on a Christmas day, I remember him going off to go play with Stitchy or something. I'm like, it's Christmas. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know? But that was just before marriage, and I'm like, but it's Christmas. And he said, man, that's cool. That's cool. I'm like, no, you know. So we have the issues. Like, how do you go off? You know, so it's good to know ahead of time so that you're not in it trying to fix it. Yes, ma'am.
We have some more questions I want to throw in, and we appreciate you guys asking questions, making comments. Thank you so much. I want to say though that both the cases, there are pastors, there are counselors, there are mentors that have mentorship groups for men, for women. Auntie Tanya does a wife material mentorship program. So we will talk about how to contact them. And I know Uncle Arrington also does a male mentorship program to help men be men, help women understand what it is to become a wife. You know, I heard a preacher says that you are a wife before he finds you. It's he that finds a wife. Glory to God. You know, but
leave him my wife.
So. So they are really experts in the field, and trust me, great advice. And you probably say you hear we call a couple of the people that we talked at that time auntie and uncles. They are family and they are mentors and they are worthy of double honor. So I can't just call them Tanya and Arrington. I feel like I'm going to go to hell. They're too experienced and, you know, and amazing for just that. But yes, I just wanted you to know. So Auntie Tanya has a series of books that will help you be prepared for marriage. She has wife material. She has the wife material workbook, and now she has the expectation journal. And if you just love reading her stuff, her first book, Forming Faith, amazing book. Her journey going through university in the States is also her one of the books that she has written, and she has more. She gave us a little sneak preview and want to come. So you can get her books through us. You can email us, DM us, call us, Amazon, or you can go on Amazon. And yeah, we can get the books to you anyway. Any one of those ways.
Everybody should get
I am ordering my expectation journal tonight. We need our journals. We are going to write. That's the only thing missing. We haven't been writing it down like that. A little. We write down plans for the year and our expectations for the year and our goals. In a sense, can be expectation, but we want to be more deliberate. So we're ordering our books here and now. So I just wanted you to know what they do. We, Kish and I also offer through House of Clay marriage coaching. It's a coaching program to get you ready for marriage. It's a 7-week program. So if you are getting married and you want to go through our marriage coaching program, you can also contact us to know more about that. We talk about a lot of things, and it's also for post-marital as well. We talk about
and it's not just the reason we call it coaching is because there's a lot of work that you have to do. It's about work that you put in, a lot of the things that you have to write down,
a lot of
like
things,
your vision and all these things.
Yes,
we
every
give you
week
assignments.
You have assignments, but it helps. It's not just talking. Even if we go through some stuff, by the end of the session, you have to sit and do the work some by yourself, some together, and we come back and we discuss it the following week. And so look out for that. And please, I want you guys to be contacting our women who maybe you're not even dating, maybe you're not even with anybody, but you want to get married. Wife Material Mentorship Program. It is for, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and you can get the book first.
You can get the book, you can check it out. And all of that. And if you're a young man and you're like, yo, I just want to transition from feeling like a little youth and become a man, you can link up with Uncle Arrington for his mentorship program. We have the Wife Material book here. Really good. What material are you? You have to get this book. Even after you're married, I'm telling you, it even explains your personality. It explains just some, even husbands should read this. Our wives, you get it? And when you find who you are, you say, read up this. Learn who to be. I am like silk. I am like cotton. I am like, listen.
Keisha is a wool girl. I'm so cotton. So obviously cotton.
Yes.
Right. So I want to answer Jamelia before we go back into the questions. Jamelia says only on Amazon. No, not only on Amazon. You can order books. We have available at House of Clay. So you can let us know and we arrange it to get it to you. So you can tell us whether you email us House of Clay JA at gmail.com or House of Clay JA Instagram, Facebook, or you can call us. Our numbers are on our pages. We can work out you picking up the book from us and you get all the information. But this is good. And I want my journal. I'm going to journal for the first time in my life. I'm going to journal because I love this. This is going to be very helpful. I'm buying my book. Listen, so we had the chat gone. Like I have to scroll back up to find where we were. I hope I get this name right. Nahelia asked some good questions. Nahelia asked some good questions. Part 1, what to do. What do you do when one is less talkative and than the other, and each time you meet the other says, you don't talk much. What do you do? And then part 2, but in my mind, the things I love to talk about, the other part is not interested in, which is similar.
Yeah.
Question. So what to do when the person don't talk a lot? I just going to give a quick
in their expectation book.
Exactly. That is where I was going. That's why this is for you guys. Because the thing with the expectation is that it's not just me saying what I want. Everybody. So I bring up the topic of, I'm going to share. No, let me know. No, this was before. Let me put it this way. I have known a lot of really good women in my life that would have made, probably good wives, but I realized that I think so differently than them. And as I got to know them, I saw that certain things that they expected, not bad things, these are good things. but I wasn't there. I
That's
can tell you. I'm in a dead say yet. So it was good to kind of can feel out and know everybody's expectation. When I met Keisha, we didn't click too much, may I tell you? I mean, we were on the same wavelength. So
Yes.
the good thing about this journaling is it's not just me talking about what I like. It's just a question. You know, what you think about this? And you get to write what you think. I get to write what I think. And then we discuss what each other say and look at if it matches, if it works up. So I think this will bridge that gap.
Yeah, and if you're like I was, because this question is about somebody who doesn't talk as much, I was that person. And
Wow.
I communicated better through writing. So for me, this would have been good because there are certain topics I prefer to write a letter or write a note or write an email.
Right.
And because I get my thoughts out more clearly, and at least you don't have the pressure of saying it. And sometimes you kind of mess up and you don't say everything that you want to say. But when you hand the book to the person, they can read it and then you can discuss it. If they didn't understand something you wrote, it starts with the discussion and it makes it easier.
Listen, we have some people blowing up in the chat thanking you. We have San Stevenson saying, thank you for the expectation journal, which breaks it down so easily for me. Thank you, Auntie Tanya Case. So we have people giving good reviews about it. At Pastor Kavan, I know that feeling. Women don't like to talk about what they want from him because they expect the man to know. Y'all, I'm talking about me. Y'all, I'm talking about me. I was that person at one point. So it is true.
I was too.
We kind of steered away from it, but a very important thing such as sex in marriage. People don't, and the expectation. The night of the marriage, you're quite surprised to say, what do you want me to do?
Wait now.
Me? You know, so.
Don't talk about it.
Don't say out of that one, but I tell you the truth, especially for us good Christians who, so it's good to talk about it, yeah.
Oh, and if there are some persons who believe you don't have sex on a Sunday. Holy,
so you need to talk about these things. Yeah.
Listen, if I was married to somebody that believed that, the days of the week are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. I agree with you. We don't do it on that day, but that day never comes.
So we laugh about it, but these are some of the things which create divorces.
Yeah.
Expectations. So it's just the opportunity to speak about it.
Yeah.
Trust me. I want to throw another question at you guys. What do you do when your spouse's expectations feel like a burden to you? I thought that was a very good question.
Ooh, that is heavy.
That's heavy.
Is it your spouse or is it the person you are courting?
Husband.
Well, you said spouses. That's what they said. Your spouse's expectation. But you can answer for both.
Yeah, because I would think that there's a reason why people have expectations. Something that I wanted to touch on as well. What you expect is coming out of somewhere, and it's either your wiring or, like we talk about the different fabrics because of your personal needs. So you have to consider, why is it a burden? One, why does the person expect it? Two, why does it feel like a burden for me? Can we talk about it and bring it down to a place where the two of us feel comfortable? Open it up and be honest with him or her and say, listen, this is where I'm at. Is there a ground that we can meet on? And begin to actually work toward a mid. It should not be like a noose around the neck. Of course, there are certain things that people have, like I don't know if she's online tonight, but there's a person that we were counseling recently, and we were talking about the whole idea of cooking, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have to cook," you know, and I'm like, no, maybe the husband is saying, maybe the person that she's going to marry is saying, "I expect her to cook," and she feels like that's a burden to do. It's not in my expectations. Guys, there's some things you're just going to have to work with. As much as some things you don't naturally want to do, but give yourself a chance to adjust as well. There are things that you can adjust to, as well as when the two are becoming one, there are compromises that you will have to make, and compromise is the name of the game when it comes to becoming one and loving each other.
And if you are already married, I mean, we'll have to you'll have to go beyond your comfort zone to maintain that marriage, if that's a need that the person absolutely cannot do without.
Yes, I think more talk.
And so the real great thing for those, if you're in marriage already, the approach is slightly different. If you're not married yet,
consider it though. If you're not married yet, you have an opportunity. That's why this is necessary to see. Is this too much for me in that I cannot carry this through? And can I commit, or do I have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't handle this? Because there's nothing like trying to wear Saul's garment.
Yeah.
You know, you're wearing what belonged to someone else's. That's why I tell you, before you go out with that guy, when you go out with that guy, or that girl, consider, is this my work? Is this, because you are called to partner with someone for purpose. And if it feels like you need to be someone else in order to partner with that person, you have to say, that's not my work. I'm sorry. It's not for me. I'm really
you made such a... I just... That reference was so powerful. And just for those who may not know the reference,
right.
So there's a Bible story about David and Goliath. I guess you all know that story. But what you may not know is that King Saul wanted David to wear his armor to fight Goliath. David said, "Hey, no, I can't fight it. That is heavy. I never used that to kill the lion and the bear when I was protecting the sheep." And he went out with his slingshot. We all know the story. He used the slingshot and the stone to kill Goliath. So, and Tanya said, "Is that your armor?" That's just pretty powerful right there.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are comfortable being who you are, that you can say, I eat with a fork. If it's not, I laugh loud. Can we tone things down? Yes, but that still can be the essence of who I am. That still to be the essence of who I am, if necessary. Stuff like that. So I think that was a very powerful point.
But for the person who is married, it's just in my spirit. For the person who is married already, and there is that, and we have to understand also, not just for her, every marriage goes through seasons, and people evolve and people change.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain that atmosphere where we are actively communicating, so that we are agile enough to make the adjustments and to have that conversation before that need becomes a demand, and so not in the moment, outside of the moment. So that's why the whole process of writing and conversation in a non-threatening way, you get the opportunity to have the discussion. You may not agree, but maybe in having that discussion, you can come to a compromise, and you can come to a position where you both can agree, which can work going forward. So it goes back to the whole matter of, if you're already married, you have to create more opportunities to have the conversation outside of the moment, when that demand is coming on. And so we can be clear, and we can talk through the issues, and we can get understanding and agreement. And what this book does from the get-go, it set the stage for conversation.
Yeah.
And if, as long as you're maintaining that environment of active communication, you can eliminate a lot of issues.
Yes. Well said.
Really, very well
yeah.
said. Very, very, very well said. Listen, it is amazing to me how something that seems so simple as expectations can really be a part of the foundational tool of a good marriage. And it builds, for me, as I listen to you guys, it really builds a foundation of communication.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you're training yourself to deliberately communicate.
Yeah.
And then to remind each other, it's not like a cussing off, but just if I go back to my journal, if we take time to read back, to just remember, oh, this is really what was expected of me. This is what we agreed on. This is what was said. And that can, because sometimes I have amnesia, you know, right?
Yes.
When life hits, you forget everything. So the fact that it's written down, you're not trying to be bad, but life is just rocking right now. Work stressing me, this happening, that happening, but you have it written down and you can really go back and like, oh, that she expects flowers, she expects honesty. And you know, something that was said, I don't remember, Uncle Errington said it, and I felt like, let's start. No, Auntie Tanya talked about, you read your expectation, and talked about not, I can't remember the term because it was so, you know, very proper and well said. About protecting your honor or something like that. So, something to that effect, right? Auntie Tanya, something to that effect.
Protecting his heart?
You know, you said something about
you're committed to
protecting your honor. Like he would not.
Oh.
You read it. You read it. That,
what she expected of him.
Yeah.
Expectation journal. Let me find it. I expect that he would protect my name by avoiding situations which would tarnish my reputation.
Yes. That one.
Oh, that.
I think it's important to state the obvious. I expect you to be faithful.
Yep.
Listen. It is important to be like, listen, I don't expect to go get no bun. Mr. Make you know still. I don't expect to take care of those junior's children because, you know, I'm just, you know, our Susan's children because you go up. I expect faithfulness. And you write it down. Don't be afraid to speak the obvious.
And I love that Auntie Tanya took it a step further. She never just said she expected to not be cheated on, but that he would avoid certain situations that would lead to dishonoring her and stuff like that. And I think that is a part of the problem, you know. We just expect it to not happen, but we do what we feel like.
And as you say that, Keisha, something that Errington said, it just came tumbling out of his mouth when he said, whatever we value, we set boundaries around.
Yep.
Your money is not easily had. Children aren't easily had. Your valuables in your home, they're not easily had. No, that's why we put doors and windows and parameters around whatever you treasure. You put boundaries around. Likewise with marriage, you put boundaries around. That means that I am not with the opposite sex in a certain area. If we need to counsel someone, if someone needs counseling, Errington is not going to counsel a single woman. Oh, I'm just so hurt. And I'm so, no, by my wife. By my wife. She loves to talk to single women. I just refer you to my wife. Those are boundaries that we have set in our in our expectation book. We said these things, okay, how are we going to deal with it? And we just said, and it didn't become like a rigid thing. No, we just each other and out of love, we just say, okay, we set these parameters to keep. So I'm not on the phone, but you know, he my boyfriend, he my friend from a long time, and we just talking on the phone, and every day he my best friend, and you and this guy talking on the phone, and you have a wife, you have a husband. That is not how it goes. We have to come to the place where we say, okay, in order to protect this marriage, these are our parameters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power.
Absolutely. Whatever you value, you put boundaries around it.
Yeah.
Listen, from we started back Spility on YouTube, from we switch over, we have not been able to do Spill the Love. I keep forgetting. So you will be our first official Spill the Love on YouTube. So for our YouTube viewers, we do have a segment that we have not yet introduced to you guys called Spill the Love, where each person gets to say to their spouse one thing,
just one,
that they absolutely love about their spouse. All right? So guys, we have not done it in such a long time. I feel like, because Akeisha and I have been going at it every week. I think we can start to work because I'm going for so long. Because we were trying not to repeat. We were trying to never to repeat.
Awesome.
But let's see. Let's see if we can keep it up. Let's see. But we start out with the cases.
Something that I absolutely love. I want to start.
Please.
Yes. What I absolutely love about Arrington, his ability to support me on whatever I'm doing, like it was his brainchild. Yes. Just the way he just forms a covering over it like this, and he just shepherds it, you know, and I'm like, that's pretty awesome, dude. Yeah, I think that's amazing.
I think so too.
I love it. You know, Uncle Arrington, before you jump in, Jamelia said something that I thought was very true. Remember to like the live, viewers. Please like and subscribe. My 8-year-old was saying to me, Daddy, you guys are almost at 100 subscribers. So let's make it at least 100 or more. We're at 99 when we started this live. So we're at 99 subscribers when we started.
Oh, this live? Really?
When we started today, we're at 99 subscribers. Yeah. Yeah. So please like and subscribe and share and keep commenting. Yes, Uncle E.
Just our conversations.
Hey.
And that's a huge part of who we are. I mean, we talk for hours upon hours daily.
Yes.
You know, and just being my friend, just being able to converse. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's why I think the greatest foundation for marriage is a great friendship.
Yeah.
Conversations, that's what I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%.
100%. 10 out of 10 will recommend. Yes, Keisha, please go first.
Okay. All right. One thing I absolutely love about Kavan is just his approach to life. He's just full of life, and he's just so, I don't know, he brings so much energy and joy. And I mean, I am on the calm side, and I feel like there's so much that he has brought to the table that kind of makes me much better and stuff like that. And it's good to, I just love that about him, because I know that when people are different in relationships, it can become a problem. But I love to actually tell him this and remember. I just really love how lively and his love for life and just how energetic he is.
Listen, thank you so much. I found something I never said before. Oh my God. It was so hard. He's a good judge of character. And she lets people into her space who are just amazing people. And so since we've been married, I have inherited some amazing people, because she has, just by who she is, a good judge of character. Somebody who really just, she understands people, and she know, all right, this person come inside. I mean, I think after marriage, I felt like all my friends were people that like 90% of the people in my space were people that she introduced me to, right? Like the cases. You know, And I really appreciate that about her. She really does have a good sense of, character for just people that we let in and who is good to be around. And, and I have benefited from that a lot. So keep up the good work. That came last second, guys. Whoever was out there praying for me, thank you.
Pastor Gab, the other day we're having a conversation because this one of Ayrton's mentee said, you talk about the different fabrics of wife material. Have you ever considered for men, what if they're the same for men? And I was just like, I don't know, guys. Focus bag, right?
What type of tool are you?
Screwdriver.
That's so aggressive though. But we said, Cab, you are certainly cotton.
Cotton, definitely.
Cotton. If I was like shoving it when the guy said it. I was just like, nah, man, no, I don't apply. I said, but no. I thought of you. I said, for real? You are pure 100% cotton.
I agree.
People bring them. Anywhere. Yes. You want them to
understand. For those who don't understand, please go get the book Wife Material. You'll know what we're talking about.
Get the book.
Grace Isaacs have a question for you guys. She asked if you guys have children, and if yes, how do you manage your day-to-day life? I'm happy she asked. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, Grace, we have 3 children.
3?
Yes, 3. We are the threes. How do we manage? It's a delicate balance from Jump Street, from we start, right? It's a delicate balance because you have to pour love into them, affirm them, and shepherd their heart as well. And so it's not just that you get full. That's why you really have to solidify this, because when you add children to the mix, you have more emotions to control, to manage. More people you're good, baby, you're good. No, you're fine. Yes, and affirm and so it's great. What makes it great is that we together love on them, affirm them, and build them and direct them. What they have come to understand when they talk amongst themselves about us, and they say, you know what, it doesn't even make any sense that we try to get one to agree to something, because the other is whatever you get from one, you're going to get from the other one. So they have concluded that, and that helps us.
And that's because there's agreement with the parenting approach.
Yes.
And so it doesn't, again, happen by chance. It has to be discussed.
Yes,
and you have to find some form, and especially with children, you don't want to send mixed signals. So you take that time away where you agree on positions concerning issues, so that when you are communicating it, you are speaking as one voice.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, that it's not an easy balance, to be honest with you, and you have to be flexible. If you are rigid, when you have children, it's going to make your life even more frustrating. You have to be flexible, but you have to fight to find order, which is important for children too, but it's going to be a fight on your part. Just think about even coronavirus and schooling, and we have young children. We have a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old going to school during the virus. That you can't understand how that just throw everything upside down. But I believe every married couple should have married couple friends.
Yeah.
Because it really does help. It really, really does help. Early in the pandemic, it was our connection with the cases that helped us figure out even schooling for Tehillah. That was just because you guys were already mulling some things and doing some things, and that could help us. And we would be out there just kind of really buttering about, you know. So that's one of the biggest things I would say. Find other good married couples who have children to kind of help you, who have gone before you, who have been there, done that. Some people probably doing it with you, but have a mix.
Yeah, and at least you know you're not in it alone. You realize that it's something everybody's navigating, and you know.
So that is one thing. Listen, guys, we are having this exceeded our expectation.
Yes.
this has been amazing.
Expectation.
We're very high. That's been amazing. Can you tell?
Expectation.
Yeah, that's why I did it. I want, if persons want to get to you guys, you know, they love what you're saying and they want to connect with you. They want to join the mentorship program. They want to anything and everything. How can they get in touch with you guys? Let everybody know how they can touch base, how they can learn more, how they can connect.
Okay, so you can contact me at Tanya Case Books on Instagram and on Facebook. Tanya Case Books.
Spell Tanya for them.
TANIACASE Books. Tanya Case Books on Instagram and on Facebook. Ayrton has a book coming out as well. It's called Built in His Image, and the name of his mentorship is Built in His Image Men. Built in, I call him Be Him, you know, and him is Jesus. And, yeah. So he's got that working on, and his mentorship, I think he has a swell right now. So you might, anyone who's interested in joining will have to join the next cohort, but you can contact us. You can DM us on Tanya Case Books. You can follow wifematerial.blog. I put out a blog to guide single women. So you can contact us there. I think that's, wifematerialja@gmail.com is another way that you can find us. wifematerialja@gmail.com. So, and our books are on Amazon.com, and you just look up Tanya Case Books and you will find whether it's the Expectation Journal, the Wife Material Workbook or Wife Material Book, as well as What Makes Marriage Work, Fundamentals for Your Marriage, and what's the other one? Oh, Forming Faith, also there. So, and you can contact us through this wonderful couple who we love, and they're just so effervescent and just keep things moving. I'm so proud of you guys for having gone a year doing this. That's amazing. And I'm telling you, marriage is beautiful. Marriage is wonderful. And thank you for modeling it well. Thank you for being, a young couple that's modeling marriage well, and you have children. You don't have like big children. You have little children balancing and doing this thing. Hey, this is hard stuff, guys. Doing your own business and 3 little ones. Listen to me. So I bless this ministry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to have you guys, and we definitely love you guys, and we're going to have you back again, I'm sure. So we want to thank you so much for being here with us and joining us today. And of course, our amazing audience. You guys are the best. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Yes. Thank you for your support, blowing up the chat. Thank you for answering each other's questions in the chat. That was amazing. And, if it was your first time joining us, remember to follow us on social media. It's House of Clay, LAYJA, on JA on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel. And subscribe to this YouTube channel to get notifications when we go live and when we do anything else. If you're shopping for a wedding dress, please visit our website at www.houseofclayjamaica.com. come. Have a great evening, and thank you for being a part of our mission to make marriage great again. See you next week. Thank you guys so much. You guys, trust me. We'll soon come back. We have to talk about that next book.
Yes.
We'll talk about that next book.
Yes.
So look out for that one.
Remember to get your expectations journal, guys.
I'm ordering mine.
And we'll have them here.
And also clear as well. So be in touch. Thank you all so much. Have a great
Good night, everyone. Bless you, bless you, bless you.